When I saw Josh Sargent play in the U20s, knowing that he just made the step up from U17s, I'm like, he's not bothered by defenders kicking him. He's not bothered by the idea of knowing he's got to drop off and be that outlet. And from there, he hasn't just held the ball like I was talking about earlier. He's very much a creative center forward that has no trouble bringing in other players and making space for other players. And that's something we haven't had in a very long time, and something on top of the fact that the kid loves to score goals. He had 25 goals in some 44 U17 games. I know it's under 17.
Right.
Scores 4 and 5 for the U20s. That's somebody that knows where to be in the right position.
But he's not playing at the moment in Germany.
Well, I know that.
Is that a concern, though?
And if I am Werder Bremen and I see this performance, and I know exactly what has been going on and what he's been doing, scoring 6 goals in 10 games for my second team, I'm saying I'm putting him in.
Really?
Why would I not? I mean, at least have him on the bench as an option. Physically, he can handle it. His movement's excellent. I don't understand the idea of, yep, he's young, we'll bring him along. I understood it last year because he couldn't play, and I see it from a certain standpoint now, but seeing this game, I can't imagine he's not brought up.
I think it's a big gamble to go with someone who has zero experience as a number one manager. And I think, in a way, it's a gamble for him as well, because if he fails badly, I'm not sure how you recover from that. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens on Saturday when they go to Strasbourg on Saturday night. And then for the rest of the season, he signed a 3-year deal. I thought he came out good today in his press conference, but the task he's got ahead with an aging squad, but also a very young squad at the same time, which is very, I think, difficult to deal with. It's a huge task ahead of him.
Has he got any money to spend, Jules? Because obviously Monaco, we've seen selling a lot of players over the last couple of years. Is any of that going to be available for him to spend?
Well, I mean, no bragging here, but we broke the story on ESPN FC back on Tuesday last week that he was going to be the next Monaco manager. And one of the things that he was really keen on was having the assurance back from the club, from the owner, Dmitry Rybolovlev, and Vadim Vasiliev, his number 2, that they would spend and strengthen the squad in January. It seems like even before Thierry arrived, that's what they had planned to do, because they realized there was a lot of flaws in the current squads. And like I said, they're either too young or too old, basically. That's if you put it grossly. So he looks like he will get that backing financially as well. And he also got the assurance that, unlike under Jardim before him, not too many players will leave at the same time. So he won't lose 3 or 4 in one transfer window in January or in the summer. That this time they will deal a bit better with their philosophy of being a selling club.
Well, clearly the position they're in, I don't know if they've got 3 or 4 good enough to go at one point.
Yeah.
Got to feel sorry for Jardim because, you know, he got the carpet completely pulled from under him here. They sold all the best players after that fabulous season they had, and they replaced them with guys that just weren't up to scratch in terms of what went out. In terms of Thierry Henry, how will he get on? I don't think anybody can answer that. Julian talked about it. The one sort of thing I would say, and people get caught up in this, is that, oh, this is great, the players will love it at Monaco, this is Thierry Henry, fantastic. That's not how it works.
Right. Well, you had similar at Ruud Gullit, didn't you? At Chelsea, a massive name, of course, a star player.
Yeah.
And when it came to coaching, it didn't quite work.
Well, they kind of worked for him for a short period, and then things went a little awry. But he'd already been there as a year as a player.
Yeah.
So he kind of got to know the playing squad before he took over as manager. What I'm saying here is that it doesn't matter if you're Thierry Henry or the #1 player in the world. And at the moment, as soon as you walk in that dressing room and you put on 2 or 3 bad training sessions, or you have a couple of meetings and you're gibbering and talking nonsense, the players go like that. This guy has not got a clue. Not got a clue. So what he's done in the football field will matter not a jot to those players or how his managerial career will pan.
Jurgi Löw, where do you stand on him, Jules? Time to go?
Time to go, but they've got no one to replace him. I really believe that's the problem. And I don't get all that rubbish from Germany this morning in the newspaper saying, oh, but he found the team for 2020. Like, no one can think like this. You know, this is not, this, you know, oh yeah, you know, that tactical switch that he did, those young players coming through. They need results now. They've lost 6 games in 2018. I mean, Gibraltar have won more in 4 days than Germany in the whole year. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. This is Germany we're talking about. And this is Jogi Löw, and he did a great job for 12 years. I just think he's past it now, and they would need to find someone. And I understand there's not many candidates, but I can't understand how he's still keeping his place as a national team manager there.
Gibraltar sounds much more sexier when Jules says it than when we say Gibraltar. I like it.
It is a bit concerning when the German media or whatever it is holding on to the thought that, and it was something that we talked about yesterday with Gab. And look, I'm not saying sit here and fire Jogi Löw, but certainly the German FA have got a lot of thinking to do. But to think that he made some changes off the back of the fact that he had to make some changes, and this is now all of a sudden the way forward, I just don't buy it, because he showed that how quickly he dropped Leroy Sané for the World Cup, and I keep going back to him because that was the big one, that if any of these guys don't do it from a drop of a hat, he's going to leave them out. So he doesn't know what his best 11 is. Probably doesn't even know what his best 18 is.
Where do you stand on the discussion that Gab and Craig had yesterday?
Well, the apologists like Gab would be saying things like, well, based upon what you're doing in the Nations League, you shouldn't be fired. And I said, wait a minute. It's not just because Nations League, because you got to go back to the World Cup. This has a starting point, and even before the World Cup, you see what happened in the World Cup. Nothing has changed from the end of that to what has happened now. And then what really gets me, the standard for Germany worldwide is as high as anybody else. And or higher than most, to be quite honest with you. And for them, or Gap or whoever is apologizing for Jogi Löw and Germany, to suggest that, well, they made changes and they play better and they try hard, and next time they're gonna get orange slices and juice boxes. Oh. Are you kidding me? This is Germany we're talking about. This is not just any old team. This is not just any international team. And those standards have been set because of their success. They should be trying to aspire to that level of success, not, hey, we played better. I think we're going to get them next time.
I think from the German FA's point of view, and something we mentioned yesterday, the very fact that it's taken him to the middle of October to realise that he's had to make changes that he should have made straight after the World Cup is more worrying than any results.
Arsene Wenger been speaking this week. He said, thanks to my 22 years at Arsenal, I have big experience on different levels. There are inquiries from all over the world. It sounds, Jules, that he's interested in getting himself back in the dugout. Where have these inquiries come from, and where do you think he could end up?
Well, that's the question. I think what was interesting is that the interview he gave was in Bild, the German newspaper. A few days ago, he gave an interview to a German television as well. Oh. And you do wonder if in the back of his head, he's not thinking, you know what, Jogi Löw is on borrowed time, really, let's be honest. Arsene Wenger is not German, and, I think the German FA would want a German guy, but he speaks German, and he feels half German, half French, half English, if obviously that's not possible, but a third of each at least.
So
Thanks,
Steve Nicol.
He wouldn't be really a foreigner. He wouldn't be really a foreigner. So I wonder if he thinks that. I think the way forward for him is a national team. He knows that none of the big clubs that he would want would offer him a job, and he doesn't want to go below those big clubs anywhere, which you can understand, I guess. And I think the national team, he spoke about Japan as well in the same interview that you read a few quotes from. I think that would probably be more likely that he would take over a national team. Japan, because he managed there and he really likes the culture there and he's a big name over there, might be an option. I really think that Germany would be his preference if he had the choice. But it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next few months.
Jules confirmed today that the sale of Wembley has fallen through. Is this a good thing?
I think it's a good thing for me, at least. I never understood why the English FA wanted to sell the national team stadium, the home stadium. I think for me, a national team stadium should never be sold to anyone. And I don't buy into we need the money to strengthen grassroots football and everything. On the English FA, the richest FA in the world or something like that. I mean, it's what I've always been told, that they had loads of money, that they could do loads of things that other federations couldn't do. And now they need to sell Wembley to get more money for grassroots football. By the way, grassroots football that they've neglected for so long. I don't get it at all. I don't understand. I'm actually glad Shahid Khan, and I've got nothing against Khan at all. He saw an opportunity there to make a lot of money. He's a businessman. Good on him for trying. He almost got there, and I'm just glad it's not happening, because I really don't understand why they thought it was a good idea to sell Wembley.
The argument, as you mentioned, that fans and indeed your colleagues are pushing is the fact that £200 million would go a long way if it's filtered down to grassroots football, as opposed to a stadium that some argue is unnecessary when, as they did in the past, when Wembley is being rebuilt, you could take it around the country, which proved very, very popular.
Yeah, and I understand that. You can still play some friendly matches, away from Wembley. I just think, but again, that's me, that's the romantic in me. I think a country should have a national team stadium. And this is it. I know Spain don't have one, and I know other big countries don't have one. But I like the idea that you have Wembley. Wembley has so much history. It's a wonderful stadium. Okay, they overpaid for it. That's the FA fault, not anyone else's. And now if they need money, they can find it somewhere else. I just don't think they need to sell it. And again, I think they neglected grassroots football for a long time. And just now, because they realized that actually they should have done more work with grassroots football, they say, oh, hang on a minute, how can we find the money? Let's sell Wembley. Don't worry about all the, the side problems as well as just the money for grassroots football, because, there will be other problems. And then it's a good idea to sell it. I'm not into that at all.
Julien Laurent, as always, thank you very much. For a lot more on this story, keep it right here on ESPNFC.com and ESPN FC with you throughout the week. You can join us exclusively on ESPN+. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Extra Time.
Can you get that chair any higher?
What do you mean?
You're not fooling me.
What do you mean? No.
That's his proper height.
There he is. Hello, bro. There he is.
He's got that
How
chair.
are you doing?
You're a big boy, aren't you?
He's got that chair so high, Brian, to level himself off with normal.
I have to, though. I'm only
with normal people.
I'm only little.
His legs are almost coming through the glass.
I'm only little.
Pressed against the glass.
You are taller than Seb, though.
Well,
I'm not
yes.
sure you are.
I think so. I don't know.
I think it's very close. Mind you, Herc's not the top. He's not the biggest either, is he?
No.
Herc.
No. All right, there we go. Who else is short?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I haven't measured it.
Okay.
Careful! What is going on?
It's going in the direction you think it's going. I haven't thought about it, but Ross Dyer has to be the smallest.
Ross is small, yeah.
There's not a...
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yep. How tall is Jules? I've never met him in real life. How tall would you say Jules is? You've never met him.
I'm 5'9".
5'9"? Are you going higher or lower? I like this game.
5'10".
5'10".
5'10"?
Yes.
Jules? I'm going 5'7".
I don't know your feet and inches and whatever that is. I'm 1.79 m.
Oh, we don't know.
Oh,
about
that's quite big.
I don't know. You should.
Yeah.
I'm
Why don't you have
184.
meters like everyone
yeah.
else? I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah, that's it.
So he's 5 centimetres below me, which is...
So he's about 5'11", I'm being told.
2.5 inch.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
5,
good.
10.5, 5. Yeah, it's not
Oh, you're
bad.
taller than I thought, Jules.
Well, that's bigger than... Yeah.
Breaking news. Jules is taller than Dan Thomas.
Welcome to International Week, ladies and gentlemen.
So he's definitely taller than Ralph Honigstein.
Yeah, Raph's short. I've met Raph.
Raph-
Gab is big. Gab's,
Gab's big.
Well,
Gab's
he's
just big.
Gab's bigger than everyone, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Who's bigger, Champers or Gab?
Yeah.
Champers is...
Shaq. Shaq is...
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Shaq.
I would say he's probably...
He's hardly ever around.
Probably... How tall's Sid? I've met Sid. We know Sid, but what's Sid? 5'9",
Sid's
something
slightly
like
taller
that?
than me, yeah.
Yeah, Sid's about my size.
Yeah. Right.
But Gab is big.
Hi, everybody.
I hope the Emmy judges are watching this.
Is this not going to do it? I thought
That was it.
That's it. Give us the award now. Jules, let's talk serious. Ballon d'Or, get ready. Who deserves more to be nominated for the Ballon d'Or, Mbappe or Griezmann?
No, here we go.
Both of them, they deserve to be nominated. I mean,
Climb the fence.
Look, we
no,
know
it's true.
We know you've got a favourite child, the one that plays cricket, so you've got to choose
No,
now
hang
your
on.
favourite player.
Yeah, but,
That's right. I forgot about
no,
that.
but you said nominated or winning it. You said nominated, right?
Winning,
Like the 28 others.
I'm going to go winning now.
I know who. I bet I know.
Oh, okay, because you said
who's-
nominated.
Yeah, I bet I know who he would pick.
Go on then.
Write it down.
Well, I can't because it's your thoughts.
Well, repeat that again. Repeat that again, please.
People just see what you did to me. Do it again. Oh, right.
What?
Yes. Okay. All right. There we go.
All right.
Right. So Craig has put in his nomination who he thinks you're going to say.
So if I was voting, I would go for Rafael Varane anyway. So neither Griezmann or Mbappe.
What? You
No, but it's true. Wait, so hang on. If you now ask me to choose between Mbappe and Griezmann, which is like choosing between my oldest son and my youngest son,
Well, already
which one
done
you
that.
prefer.
The cricket
Which-
guy.
Who's going to play cricket?
Don't let me down, Jules.
the oldest one,
Don't let me down. I've
I
already.
would go for Mbappe. If I had to pick between the two, I'd go for him.
I was sure he's going to say Griezmann.
Wow.
Sure. I was absolutely. We get questions and we can sort of gloss
Whose
over
head
this.
is that? Is that your head?
That is a good look for you.
That's not the spot you want.
That's all right. We'll fix that.
Ah, goodness.
We'll fix that. Give it a little bit of time.
After seeing Usain Bolt's performance for Central Coast Mariners, scoring 2 goals, what do you make of his chances of being a professional footballer?
Yeah, good time to start. 37.
37.
Yeah, lots of players start their careers at 37. It's just it's easy.
Apparently he's 32.
Is he?
Well, you seem to be certain that he's 37.
I read somewhere he's 30. He's not 32. Get it up.
Right, there we go. Okay. Oh, dear. What's everyone's...
Anyway, how many players start their career at 32?
Oh, that's right.
Right, Usain Bolt.
What's everyone's best, worst Halloween costume? Now, Ali, you're a Halloween fan. I've seen some pictures of you in the past. When
Yeah.
were you Thor? Was it Thor?
I was Thor last year.
Yeah.
And I was the Mad Hatter the year
Yes.
before. Full outfit.
I know.
I mean, makeup.
You really invest in this.
Well, I don't have a choice. My wife seems to be a big fan of Halloween, and therefore I become a
Okay.
big fan. This
Seems to be
year,
Oh, yeah, what's the plan?
we're going to go all Winnie the Pooh. So my son will be Winnie the Pooh. The youngest one will be Piglet.
Are you Eeyore?
I am Eeyore, of
Yeah,
course.
of course.
You saw it.
Seems
You
to be
know
a
it, you
common
love it.
theme here that you have to do what your wife says.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
rest of
I have found that that's how it best works in my house.
Oh, that's a picture of Barney. Craig's dog is
Yes,
what do we
Minion.
call it? Minion.
Yeah.
My wife dressed him up.
Craig, have you ever dressed up in a costume?
When I was a kid, yeah. Oh, I had fancy dress at Celtic. I went as Elvis.
Did you?
Yeah.
Can't imagine you.
Sounded a bit weird when all the lads had gone home at 2 in the morning. And I was stood in the taxi queue outside with normally dressed people. And it was a rather large queue, and I was still dressed as Elvis.
That's brilliant. Brian, you must dress up, I imagine, with the family.
Done it a few times. Yeah.
Probably.
No,
What do you think?
mostly.
Brian's a nice family man. It's a
Oh,
family
but
thing to
listen.
do, isn't it?
No, not for
Well,
trick or
Brad had
treating.
very much had a real love-in on social media only a couple of months ago.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
nice.
we
Posting
do
some-
that all the time. my wife's birthday. If
Oh,
it's
we
some
know.
special occasion, of course.
And I love you more.
I love you, honey.
And I love you more.
So we were Taco Bell. So I was a taco. She was Bell this year. We already had the party. We've been So I had a taco.
Yes, yep, I get it.
The thing was, I actually
Yes,
last
that's it.
week when I got home from this, she goes, "I've got a new costume for you." I said, "Oh, that looks great," because it was like a hard shell taco. The other one was just a flat. And she goes, "There's the one thing."
I gotta find
It's a kid's extra large. I was in this thing. It was like I'm losing. My arms are turning blue, losing
I could have fit
circulation.
that, no.
But hey, it's all.
So
it's
Taco
all
Bell
for
was the theme
look.
this Halloween.
This Halloween was Taco Bell. We didn't win though.
Didn't you? Who won?
No, you don't want to know who won and
Is it
why.
naughty?
Yes.
Okay, let's not mention that.
What kind of party are you going to?
Let's put it this way. It was Aladdin themed, and someone came as
Oh, here we go.
a lamp.
Oh, is this? Where are you, Craig? In all of it? Oh, there you
Elvis.
are. There's Elvis. Oh, can we get this on the camera? Can we zoom in on camera 4? Wow, Craig. What's on your nose?
my nose.
Can we get that in there? I'm not sure if we
Go
can
to
see
3.
that.
He's bringing 3 in.
Is it? Oh, no. Oh, we might have zoomed in a bit more. Come on, Josh. You can do this.
You talking to the director?
Yes.
Where's Elvis? Down in the bottom?
There he is. He's there.
Yeah, there.
There he is.
Oh, no. Come on, Stevie Nickel.
Right.
Figure that out.
Are we moving on, Josh?
Give him a phone.
Hey, what's up? Oh, boy.
That was a Celtic Christmas party.
We'll put that on
Amazing
Twitter.
he had
so you can
that
have a
so
look.
quickly.
Well, I know, that came up really quickly. Just have it there for...
Is that boy George?
It's Lubo Moravchik. And there is Henrik Larsson.
Oh, well, people can't see. This is a terrible segment. Craig, put that up on Twitter or something so people can see it. There we go. Right, final one. Now that Dan is back for a couple of days, do you find yourself missing Sebi a little bit? You were all mean to Sebi when he was here.
Sebi takes a lot of grief.
Well, he brings it on himself. He likes it. He wants it.
I think you're right. I think
Did I
he does
ask
want to
you-
be the antagonist.
Jules, I didn't ask you about Halloween, mate. Did you dress up at all in the Laurent family?
No, the kids do. I don't do. But the last time I was dressed up like costume party, I was Napoleon.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and you're a little bit tall to be
It's
Napoleon.
pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm glad of that.
I've had a message just come through from Steve Nicol.
All right. What is it? Is it
That was the longest game ever today. Felt like we were looking for their balls all day. He's a space cadet.
Goodness me.
This was a golf game. So he's clearly
One extra
doesn't.
time.
Any
We're
more
going on
questions?
Which camera? That's it. We're done.
Any more
Hey.
questions?
We're finished today.
job,
Brian, have a
very
lovely trip back.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy taco. So what do you do with it now? Do you wear it around the house?
No.
Just get value for money?
Yeah, right.
I love you.
Go for a run in
love
it.
me.
I think it's nice.
I
Okay,
love you, man.
that's it. Craig, you put that picture on Twitter.
I'm not putting it on Twitter. If somebody asks me, I'll put it on Twitter.
I just asked you.
No, but if you ask me on Twitter, you have to ask
So I
me.
have to tweet you.
Nice. Is there a please?
I've
Do you need a
muted you.
please?
I've muted you.
Who have you muted on Twitter?
Seb.
Oh, I've muted you.
Oh man, that was a layup right there.
Yeah, not really.
It's Chelsea are playing Manchester United soon. We might look ahead to that. Milan derby, Barca, Sevilla, lots going on. Join us over the next couple of days.
Paul Scholes says that not even Lionel Messi can improve this Manchester United team. Ali, is he wrong?
Yes. Big picture, yes. Lionel Messi could improve any team in the world, but I get what he's trying to get to. I understand his message, and it's really that Manchester United is struggling all over the place. And it's more than just about one player. It's more than just about one guy coming in and saving the world. That wouldn't happen for this version of Manchester United, because even if you brought Lionel Messi, there would be other areas that you would have to address. So in the larger point, I see where Paul Scholes is coming from. But when we talk about Lionel Messi, if he were to come into Manchester United, then it would just be a situation where not only does he affect the players around him, it also affects the way that teams play against Manchester United. Big picture, I understand what he's saying.
Another player who's obviously under the radar is Alexis Sanchez. Paul Scholes mentioning that really he's never saw him as a Manchester United player. I know that there are issues with the wages. He's there for another 3 years on those wages. Manchester United and Jose Mourinho don't seem to be able to get the best out of him. How do you see the future play out for him?
Well, it's easy now to say, well, he's not a Manchester United player. Had he come in and scored a bunch of goals and play the way that he did at Arsenal, then what a signing it is. It is difficult to justify the investment on Alexis Sanchez because of what we have seen from Alexis Sanchez and the fact that he has been, in my opinion, mishandled and misused by Jose Mourinho. But you can make that argument for a lot of players in Manchester United, and you can point the finger directly back at Jose Mourinho. The truth is when you have the struggles that Manchester United have had, nobody is exempt from blame here. The players have a lot of responsibility in this. Jose Mourinho has responsibility in this. Ed Woodward has responsibility in this. It permeates throughout the whole club, and it shows up every weekend when they go on play. There is a lack of cohesion and understanding in this team that is very clear. And when you don't have that, it's difficult to get results. I don't care what club you're in the world. And if you're Manchester United and you have the level of expectations and history that you have had as a club, then those expectations go out the roof. And when you don't meet those, good luck.
If there's one way you could improve them, what would you do first? Change the system? change the manager, change certain players? Is there a player missing that you would bring in? What is the first thing that you would try and do?
I changed the manager. I think that boat is gone. That ship has sailed in terms of the communication between the manager and the response from the players. There are moments in which you see, and you don't even have to be inside that locker room to understand just from watching that there's a disconnect. And when that disconnect happens, it is very difficult to get it back. You're not going to change 25 guys, so it becomes time to say, all right, what can we do that really gets the attention of everybody in this organization? Ed Woodward's not going anywhere, the players are not going anywhere, and so it feels as if it would be Jose Mourinho to go. How they go about doing that, that's a different story.
Well, of course, as luck would have it, we have Mourinho returning to his old team, Chelsea, at the weekend. An early kick-off on Saturday for Manchester United through these struggles. The international break, players being away with their national teams, always provides great fodder for the transfer rater here at ESPN. Alejandro Moreno, tell me about these 5 stories that we've got today. Raheem Sterling to Real Madrid was a story before the international break. Now he scored twice in Seville against the Spanish. Tell me it's happening.
It's not happening. And part of the reason is because Raheem Sterling has found a way to turn his game under Pep Guardiola and Manchester City that makes him perhaps a candidate to go to Real Madrid. And yet I just feel like there's so much for him to learn at Manchester City. The ceiling continues to get higher for him. Under Pep Guardiola and at Manchester City, you got a great situation there. Why go elsewhere? He stays.
Okay. Krzysztof Piatek.
Who?
Krzysztof Piatek.
Okay.
To Chelsea. The Genoa hitman scored for Poland, his first international goal, only his second appearance, looking very good at all levels now. Is he good for the big leagues? Is Chelsea his destination?
It may be that Piatek has to go somewhere simply because the goals that he's scoring at Genoa and now scoring for Poland, it may just be too much for Genoa to hang on to. Now, it makes sense for him to go to Chelsea because Chelsea need a striker. I find that Piatek eventually is going to move. Whether that's Chelsea or not, I'm not so sure, but it's a hit anyways.
Okay, Aaron Ramsey discussing new deal maybe elsewhere, free transfer. He's available on at the end of the season. Everton need a central midfielder, perhaps? He was close to joining them before he joined Arsenal years ago.
Years ago.
Under David Moyes.
Aaron Ramsey, if he was going to sort himself out with Arsenal, I think it would have happened by now. It feels like that situation is now done with, and so therefore he has to find a place to go. Why not Everton? Theo Walcott went that direction.
Is he too good for Everton?
No, I don't think Aaron Ramsey is too good for Everton. I think he would be an important piece for Everton. Now, where else would he go? You're alluding and perhaps hinting at the fact that maybe he should go to a top 4 team. He would have the same circumstances in a top 4 team, perhaps even worse than he does at Arsenal in terms of playing time. Where does he break through? Where is it that he's going to find consistently on the field? I just don't see Aaron Ramsey breaking through in any of those teams. So for that reason, I do believe that Everton may just be a good destination for him.
Okay.
You happy with that? You're an Everton fan.
I'm very happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll take him?
I'm just underselling ourselves, I think.
Okay.
Dejan Lovren, the world's best defender, or one of them. Champions League finalist, World Cup finalist. Can he fill a hole at Barcelona?
And there are holes in Barcelona in that back line, and their inability to defend in one-on-one situations would call for some sort of change, for a modification, for adding pieces that Barcelona needs. Those Barcelona needs come because they are mistake-prone in the back line. Dejan Lovren is also mistake-prone. As good as he has been at times for Liverpool, there's always a mistake in him. I wouldn't be, if I were Barcelona, going after Dejan Lovren, and I just don't see him as the sort of guy that can play out of the back comfortably and be good with the ball and clean with the ball. The more he does that, I think there are more mistakes in him. I don't think so.
Barcelona's search for reliable centre-halves goes on. Arturo Vidal to leave Barcelona. He's only just got there.
Yeah, you just said it. He just got there. It has been difficult so far for him. It has been difficult so far for Barcelona and the guys that have come in and try to make an impact. Artur has been good. Vidal, not so much, although he has been sparingly used. There's going to be some frustration here, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who deals with frustration so well. However, I don't think it's happening right away. It may happen in the summer. I think Arturo Vidal is just going to hang on. just going to hang on with Barcelona.
Okay, so at the moment, Sterling stays with City, Vidal stays there too, Lovren stays to Liverpool at the moment, not going to Barcelona, Ramsey to Everton,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
Piatek to leave Genoa at some stage. That's the thoughts of Ali. Let us know what you think at ESPN FC as always.